So, hi everyone. I'm switching to English. Yep. Don't judge me. I know I'm 15 years here. I'm still speaking English. So, Pina Colada is just a name, okay? And there's nothing about Pinia here, so don't expect anything. It's just about TanStack. And honestly, I thought this talk would be about 15 minutes. But after I do my rehearsal, I thought, okay, it's not going to be 15 minutes. So luckily that we do it a bit later. Okay. And yes, it disappeared. Awesome. Technical always happens. Right? Loading. Yeah, this is exactly what we need state management for. So my name is Maya, and I just changed it from I used to be from Windows, if anyone remember me, and now I become a cloud, Salesforce. And so yeah, I'm a lead software engineer in Salesforce, been working for web, front end, and now full stack, which I'm working with from C#, now working with Java and JavaScript. And yeah, don't ask me if we're working with Vue or React or Angular, because in Salesforce, we're working with none. We're working with something called web components. But it doesn't stop me from loving Vue. So, and I'm also a web book author, a mother of 4. I have a baby at 9 months. Yep, it's hard. I don't sleep. That's it. I also just started a podcast. So if anyone can give me a follow or can like it or can review it, really appreciate it. And in only 5 stars. Okay, less than 5 stars, don't accept it. Okay, why state management? We kind of answered this question just now when we have a loading screen, just so that we don't need to do this. We don't get to actually we do need to get to this screen, because we have state management, so we know what happened, and then because we have state management, we know how many percentage that we have until we crash. Actually, it got kind of stuck here forever, so it doesn't matter. But in general, state management, when we talk about state management in an app, we have 2 things. One is state management in client state management, which we use it with Pinia. You can use it with any hooks, local hooks, and so on and so forth. The other state management we are going to talk today is the server state management. We will handle the communication with the server API and get back some data. So what's the problem with the traditional approach for state management? Well, there are a lot of problems. So when we have to do data fetching, usually you will have to write some sort of local ref, which is reactive variable, to hold it. And then you also need to start, what's going on here? And then you also need to manually update in the stage of the data, and then of course catch finally, and so on. This is very, verbose and very complex. And what happens is you have to repeat this for every component, unless you write in some hook or some composable like use fetch for Vue use. Then it will give you more extra stuff. But again, in this approach, if you have something, you want to add another value, another reactive value between this, it may give you potential bug, because there's so many reactive variable you need to keep track here. So many local state you need to keep track here. So what's the problem we have? Manual state update, asynchronous state logic is harder, because you have to kind of catch and then handle finally. If you forget this one, then the loading will always go through, and then you'll have problem on the UI. And if you only add it here, but you don't add it here, then you only have, when you have error, then the loading is still loading, and so on and so forth. And it's not usable, and there's no catching and reset. So every time when the component mounted, it will keep repeating this cycle again, and you wasted data. Okay, so that's why we have TanStack Query. That's it, you can go home already. The truth is, when I do this talk, I ask myself, what else AI doesn't know about nowadays? I actually asked it, what TanStack Query gave me, and it told me almost everything you need to set it up. So I said, okay, let's build something fun. We're going to build a demo about Barbasol. on the Pokemon here, with a very nice UI, my UI actually. So, and what we're going to do in this, we're going to query the Pokemon using TanStack Query. We want to remove the management data fetch and state, auto update data, and inject custom success or error handler. Okay, so let's go. Opa! Wow, Yofi. Just in that. Okay, anyway, so assuming it works. So this is the code. Okay, let's just close it. We don't need to know all of this. So this is the current code that we saw. Now we're going to refactor this to use a TanStack Query. And the easiest way is just unhide this and delete everyone. And that's it. Well, I wrote this query in case that I forgot what to write here. But let's not do that, okay? So we're going to write something. We're going to import the use query from TanStack Query here. Assuming you already installed it. If you don't install it, it's not going to work. And then we're going to do something like this. We're going to use query. Okay, now I need ChatGPT help. And Copilot help, come on. It's going to give me something. 1, 2, 3, does it give anything? Okay, so I will...
Maybe you're not connected to the internet as well.
Oh.
That's why the internet...
Yeah. You're right. The classic one. Did you refresh your? Did you reboot or restart your computer? No. And of course, it had to fail me at the last moment. Yofi.
Yeah.
What? I know. I just want to show out my Copilot's nice. But anyway, so meanwhile, we can wait here. Hopefully it will work. Anyway, so we'll query key. And we're going to put here, oh my God. I can't believe that I actually have to remember it. Nowadays, I don't remember anything. Okay, so thanks to AI, yes. And then a query function, right? Query. I don't even know how to type, you see? Query function, got it. And then we will go into something like this, get Pokemon, which is the function that will return, will send a fetch and return us the data. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So and then we can actually add, I think, also like catch, stale time, I think. And should be 300, something like this. If I remember correctly.
Indefinite?
Huh?
Indefinite?
You can do something like that also. It really depends what you want to do. So that's customizable. You also do like a refresh interval. And they have a bunch of things that's very useful for, depending on the case, how long you want to keep the data in the cache, and how long you want to re-evaluate the data, and so on. Anyway. So, meanwhile, let's try the classic. Don't care about my screen. I actually can kind of take a screenshot every random way.
The docs?
Yes.
Use it.
Okay. I think we're good. Query function, query. Okay, that's good enough.
The three of them should be enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes my iPhone gets stuck. Check if you can turn on the hotspot. If not, you need to restart the iPhone.
Oh, come on, no. That would be terrible. Okay, so this should work. Anyway, this should work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But and meanwhile, you go to the main. What I do here, that I import the Vue Query plugin. I put it here, use an app to use the Vue Query plugin, and then I will just enable the dev tool for Vue Query. So this way, you can also debug it on the dev tool. It's integrated with the Vue dev tool itself, so you can really see that. Unlike in React Query, it's not going to be like that. Okay. Oh, good. Now let's hope that it works. And come on, don't fail me. No, network. And fetching review. Oh, yeah, I got it. Oh, okay, I got it, but I didn't take anything. So let's say data, then we will, it will expose for us some data, so we will map it to Pokemon. And also it will give you a pendant. They changed it to a pendant instead of a loading, so now I'll just map it to loading, and of course take the arrow up. Nope. And that's it. Yay! Yay! And how do we see the DevTool view? In this DevTool, you will see here have view query, the small icon here, and then you can go here and you can see the query detail, the key, the data, and the explore everything what it's been GC time for 30,000. And we also have on the hash, and then we can really debug what's going on with this query, and so on. That's it. That's all it takes. Yep, it's 15 minutes, right? Okay, we have 5 more minutes. What else can I do for 5 more minutes? So, the benefit of TanStack Query, all of this you can ask AI, or you can go to the website. They actually tell you exactly what the benefit of it. For me personally, the things I like the most is that I don't have to write use fetch, and I don't have to. You can actually use fetch from Vue use, but it's lack of a lot of stuff, and have caching, have background refetching. Everything is there. So you really don't have to reinvent the whole mechanism of fetching data from outside. You can use it, and it's behind the scene, it's using state machines algorithm. So it automatically increment and automatically handling everything and make sure that you don't have error in the middle. And it's very intuitive. And what should we not use compared to the traditional view? So with TanStack Query, we have everything include built-in arrow, loading state, caching, background sync. Code size is compact. So we can just plug in and use it. You will see how easy to set it up, right? It's very straightforward. Of course, if you overuse it, then it becomes a pain in the butt to actually try to debug it. So use it with cautious, like always. And bonus, meetup mutation. Yay! Anyone here know what the mutation mean?
כן, זה כשפיקאצ'ו הופך ל...
Well, you probably watch a lot too much dramas. So when I look at the mutation, I thought to myself, I phone out. So they're like, okay, so I'm going to get mutate here? Yay! So anyway, so how do we get the mutation? So here I have a function called add Pokemon, okay? Yeah. So I have a function here of Pokemon. Okay, it's not very pretty, so ignore it. And what it does is add Pokemon. So right now it's just console log the add Pokemon. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a mutation, if I'm not wrong. And now I'm really counting on you, Copilot. And then I'm going to do const mutate, use mutation. Oh, yay! Not exactly what I want, but okay. So I'm going to, instead of doing this, I'm going to what you call a function which is add Pokemon. I think I add Pokemon. Let's see, Pokemon API. Yeah, as Pokemon. Okay. And then I'm doing here, where is it? So add Pokemon. And I'm like, we need to pass here the Pokemon that you want to add. But for this, this function is just return a promise. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to mutate. Let's say, mutation, mutate, and mutate. Naming convention is hard, so don't do this. mutate doesn't give you anything. It just make the next person will be angry with you when they do code review. So, and then you can do here, okay, and then can like try, and yeah, okay, yeah. So now let's say, oh, and then we can do something like this, and then console log. Yeah, and then here, if you look at the console, and when we do something like this, we will have the Pokemon added successfully. And then when we go here, we only have the view, I think. I'm not sure that they probably don't have the, yeah, they don't have the mutation here. But anyway, so when you do mutate, now I'm going to this function, and then instead of doing resolve, I'm going to recheck. So I'm going to recheck. Arrow, okay. Yeah. Then when I do recheck, oh, here, and then in here, you look at this one, you can do the mutate. Well, we'll have, say, yeah. So now you can do something like, and then we can do some arrow, just a small arrow, if mutate that is loading, okay, mutate is arrow. Okay, let's see. And we going back here. What going on? Okay, you got the idea. So now it does really.
It's actually okay because you rejected the request.
Right, it is.
So it shows
But-
the error.
Well, it shouldn't show the arrow just on the page like that. But you got the idea. It works. It works. If it doesn't work, it still works. So anyway, so this is how we go for mutate. So mutate, you can have also e-loading on the state come out with it. And then you can also set the mutate when we stop the mutate, when we intercept it, and also have some adding some login inside. So a lot of things very powerful for TanStack Query mutation. And you can also combine them together. So I'm usually we used to do like we have a data that whenever you add the data, it actually invalidates the set of Pokemon, and then it refresh the Pokemon from beginning. So the use query also give you an option to refresh manually, and then on the mutation, after you finish the use mutation, you mutate, then you can call the refresh manually to force it to refresh and invalidate catch. That's also a good way, but again, do it wisely. And that's pretty much it. Okay, I have 1 more minute. And before we finish, so this is what the comparison between TanStack Query, Pinia, and use fetch. Though Pina here is not exactly what you call mat'im to this panel because it's really for local state management. So
Combine together?
yeah, you can combine together. So like I say, the client state, which is the app state, will use Pinia to like internal state. But whenever you have to talk to the server side to get data, you better use TanStack Query to query data back. And you can also use TanStack Query to query data and then put the data into Pina store if that's work for you. Though it can be that every time when you change something to Pina store, then you need to update your server side. So that's that.
And is it also can replace Pinia?
It's not meant for replacing. They have something called TanStack, I think something for internal state, I don't remember, but you can use it for client state. But TanStack Query is really meant for querying data externally because it has the caching and stuff. So I would suggest not to replace Pinia because there's two and not like orange and apple. You cannot really compare between these two. But if you are using Pinia to query external data, then you should replace it, but not the opposite. And here you can see here that the purpose is what? It's kind of stupid though. I need to point it here. Okay. Now I don't. Okay. So now the purpose here, you can see here say it's external server data fetching, caching. Pinia is more for app state, and Vue is when you need something for data fetching but not complex, like something very small. You don't need TanStack Query for a mini app. You need TanStack Query for manage a complex app state when you have a lot of data, external data querying, or you want to try TanStack Query, but don't use it in every single application because it's a bit overkill for that. And yep, and of course they also say, thanks to AI, it generated this for me, so I can. Yeah, so it's best for async API data fetching, and Pina is for user UI state, cross-component state, and lastly for quick fetching. And that's it. Key takeaway: go and use TanStack Query. That's it. Thank you. Yeah.